They say the best things come from the worst shit. This all facts, this ain't no verse.
The content's going to be electrifying. So I want to start actually with this story right here. Is T.I., talking about Ralo. You put a post up today that you shared with me. First of all, if you don't know about Ralo, young successful rapper out of Georgia, was pretty much about a year ago, arrested for getting caught transporting hundreds of pounds of marijuana from California to Georgia. Now, T.I. left a statement. He said, in this day and age where dispensaries are opening up in GA as well as all over the rest of the country, and marijuana being a billion-dollar industry, how was it deemed fair, reasonable, or appropriate for us to be only arrested, tried, and penalized for it, but also blocked out of the industry of growing and distributing it? How was it okay for a white man in Oregon, Nevada, or Colorado to grow, smoke, and profit millions from marijuana, but a black man from the west side of Atlanta who has been nothing less than a service and a pillar to his community can be jailed and taken away from his family for allegedly doing the same thing? And don't give me it's because it's legal bullshit, because we all know the laws of man in this country has led U.S. astray many times historically. The capturing, buying, selling, raping of our people was once legal. Hanging a black man or woman, child in public was also once legal. Alcohol was once deemed illegal, although President JFK's grandfather made it illegal. BMF type of empire of it and changed the trajectory of the lineage forever. Seems like the laws are set up to do much of what the first police force was assembled to do: hunt, capture, and kill and enslave our people. And that's why it's free, Ralo. We still with you, little bro. Enough is enough. Sam, man, it's a lot there. But what do you think about that? That's beautiful. What do you think about T.I. saying that?
To answer his question, why? Money.
Yeah.
They ain't in Ralo's pocket. He didn't let him in their pocket.
Right.
In his pocket. Therefore, he must go down. They knew what he was doing, and they wouldn't have cared if he would have gave up some money. But why should he? That's a $1 billion business. This shit going on. That's my plan. Let me do what I got to do. But because he didn't give up the bread, now we have law in place to take him down. It's that simple. When you look at some of the major drug organizations, how they got started, how drugs were infiltrated into the major cities back in the 80s, it came through who? The government. They had their hand on it. That's why it was so profitable. Second, people got too high or that money got thin or something, FBI came take them out. Right. A nice little cycle they had going on. Right. Ralo taking care of his people, money filtering back in and out of through the community. Him showing it on Instagram. We got to put that into it because he was showing it off as well. Just gave them ammo to go, take that fool down if you don't give us a piece.
Yeah. And it's like, T.I. brings us some other great, points. He even goes deeper when he talks about like the industry, how it was strategically set up in these states, whereas are, if I'm not mistaken, predominantly white states, like Washington, Colorado, where these people Oregon, right, are profiting, billions. I mean, I'm talking about billions of dollars into their economy and able to sell it, and anybody can get licensing for it. But just a few thousand, miles over, you got people, actually going to jail. Now, some places they are moving now. I forgot where it was, but they're now starting to move to even remove marijuana convictions. So it's a trickle down effect. But the fact that, and there's a lot of, and I want to, get deeper into this about, marijuana, whether it's really good or bad for you, because we got to have a debate on that, with some real good scholars in here. But it's like to the point now where it's like, it's blatant what we see going on. It's been blatant. You know what I mean? He also talked about the police. You know what I mean? And I remember did a debate about the first police, that was established in this country years back. Pretty much they were established, to keep slaves, and under control, to hunt slaves, to kill slaves, to make sure, that they didn't have any insurrections to randomly pop up on people, search people. The same thing that the police do now.
This was fresh out of slavery. They're going into
freedom. It pretty much, that's how the police was started. It was started from slave patrols. That's how the police actually started. So, the mentality is still the same. The structure is pretty much still the same. And also in my debate, I was breaking down how they kept a lot of those police departments like New York, Boston. A lot of that was like family lineage. All those people, their sons were cops, their sons were cops there. So, mentality is definitely clear and present. I got to say, I 100% agree, with a lot of what T.I. said, man. And again, not to go too long, free my man Ralo, man. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, indeed, brother. And the thing we were talking about in the pre-production, it's so easy to just smell marijuana and search your fucking whip. Now we are going and furthering in time to where we eventually see it passing, and in it passing makes you also kind of throw a third eye to it, like, okay, now is what I'm smoking safe? Which, you know what I mean, you were bringing up earlier in your discussion when you were saying we got to talk about the health benefits of it. We're going to have people on, scholars and various people like that. That may be a wake and bake interview. That might be real dope. But you got to really understand now what we're putting into our bodies. All that being said, when you look at
the benefits, right?
Yeah, exactly. But when you look at how in the, what was I going to say? The weed got me.
Right. Well, if you look at it, if you look at, the benefits, we got people that, that have all type of terminal cancer, people that are, sick. I even know people personally. My mom was just telling me about a family member who had cancer, and smoking the marijuana pretty much got him through the whole thing. Where now, I think it's called remission, now. So it's like, right now, I think, the benefits outweigh. We can't say that about a lot of other things like alcohol, but the benefits definitely far outweigh, any of the risks with marijuana. Now, there's a lot of people talk about the way you do it, whether you eat it. Sometimes smoking may be bad because you put fire to it. But generally, I guess, ingesting it, eating it, brownie, CBD oil, things like that, it's working wonders for people.
Yeah, 100%.
Wonders.
And like I was saying before I lost my train of thought, as far as the cops are concerned, how people are going to jail for it. Right. And predominantly black males going to jail for it. And how we see it legalized here, there, and everywhere. A great point that T.I. made, but especially within inner cities, they're kind of clicking their heels and it's really not going on. And we still see people being locked up for a very long time. I mean, you don't got many times to get caught with marijuana before you in jail. And if you got enough on you the first time, your ass is going to jail. When you're seeing dispensaries in all these states being put up here, put up there, we're seeing all the health benefits of it. So why is it right here and not right there? And when are you going to legalize it? And when are these people going to be out of jail?
Yeah, because first of all, we're all in the United States of America. So we know that it's different states, but it's like, you got to call foul where it's foul. If you have one state where guys are going to jail, their freedom's being taken away, and one state where guys are profiting and they're predominantly, whites, in this state is predominantly black, you have to call that out. You have to, you know what I mean? And that's not, and you was going, real good when you was talking about, the nonviolent drug offenses, which the majority, of black Latinos, people of color are in there for those. And a lot of times it's marijuana. And we talked about also how it's a lot of times they catch that scent of marijuana. It leads to a whole bunch of other, things. But if this were legal, that wouldn't even be a problem no more. Okay, you ain't got your license, registration. We do what we're going to do. But the whole search and seizure shit, that's why I think you also made a good point. They don't want to get rid of this because they will lose a lot of money. It's a lot of money in these arrests. There's a lot of money in the private prison. It's a lot of money, and locking these guys up over something that people are not only profiting off, but it's saving people's life.
Let's take this a step further and just discussing how they deal and disgusting conditions that they have in jail. And everything that we're talking about, bodies being killed or people being killed, inmates being killed, bodies ended up turning up missing, all the things, these people in New York, the inmates in New York not having electricity, cold, when it was bitter fucking cold in December and January, whenever that was. The conditions are awful, and it often brings you back to slavery-like conditions, and it kind of brings you right down a trickle effect. The second you get put under these shackles, the second you get put behind bars, you are now legally a slave again, and we're going to treat you just like it. And when you look at who they're targeting, and I say targeting for a reason, because if you look at the numbers, we're not the majority of the crime makers. How? When we're not the majority of the race in America. We take up a certain majority.
People to do drugs, more European, because there are more people.
Exactly. Right. So come on now. So when you look at the amount of blacks and African American male and females that there are behind bars, you got to look at what's going on systematically, man. Free Ralo.
Yeah, definitely, man. Excellently, put. You tuned in to the Uncensored Truth podcast, the most underrated podcast out right now. But I want y'all to do me a favor, man. If y'all enjoy the content, go ahead and hit that like button for us and share this video. That's the most important thing you can do, is like and share this video, no matter what platform that you're on. If you want to help us, please, do that. Now, Sam, man, I know you were talking about Monique and her husband. I know you got that queued up over there.
Exactly, man. Well, we all know what the Leaving Neverland whole situation with Michael Jackson, Wade Robson, James Sepchek, or whatever his name was.
Right.